A minute later, it becomes apparent that this is one of the duty phrases for waking up the man, which he himself placed into the android, following a serious traffic accident nearby. The bodies of the deceased will soon be carried to the morgue, where they work. Georgie overslept, as it turns out, and when he runs to the street, the on-duty drone discovers that he parked in the incorrect spot. Still, Georgie visits his ex-wife's home to allow her to take a holiday to Australia and to pick up the children for the weekend. An argument breaks out between the ex-spouses as his son Igor leaves to say farewell to his friends while his daughter Sonia is prepared. The second husband of the woman is not content. Alice has yet to reveal the facts to her ex-husband. Georgie calls his son again and shows his daughter a kite, but Igor is not in a rush to come out to his father. He is hiding behind a corner. Rather, he calls his friend and stands by the yard to greet him. Instead of die match, though, Igor is caught up with 3 very irate individuals that he owes money to. Nevertheless, Igor escapes by splattering paint in his assailants' faces. He and his companion chuckle at the episode since Igor is leaving for Australia in a few days, and none of them will be able to contact him. Subsequently, Sonia informs your father that they are leaving permanently, not just for a month. Georgie runs to Allah, and when he shows his displeasure, he withdraws his permission. He also has no plans to give Sonia back. A case is received by the Cronus Corporation at this point. The company's owner, Viktor Toropov, participates in a TV show discussing the ethical dilemma of employing robots as the object of human love. In a previous instance, a wife caught her husband in a very risky position with a female and an android, but the husband thinks the bot is a living entity and you can do whatever with it. After hearing the views of all sides, Toropov should meet with the nation's biggest supplier of robots and remind them that, in addition to eradicating the oldest profession, robots aid in human relaxation and lower levels of hostility. Appliances are too lovely to be jealous of. A guy requires another man. When Tonopath goes back to the corporate office, she finds a pregnant woman who is waiting for her husband, who also works there. When she calls Sergei, he doesn't like her call. The man is not too happy with her circumstances. Toropov informs his helper Maslovsky in his 23rd floor office about a recent acquisition, a concept for which he has not yet begun development. Victor opens the case after the delivery men bring it in. Sergei the mover is delighted to find an android named Arisa inside. The robot takes a position on the belt that charges charts. Toropov acknowledges to his friend that Arisa is a model that is illegal. It was designed as a single unit, operates on a quantum processor, and has unpredictable behavior. The mover heads back to the workplace to continue working after the executives have left. Worried, Buddy pleads with the man to think again. They will face consequences if they are discovered in the boss's office. However, when the man is examining the android females and touching their private areas, he is drawn to Arisa and wants to perform a variety of things before the bot pushes his hand away. When the female takes him by the neck and tosses him against the charging terminal, the guy gets even hornier and tries to embrace her, which breaks the terminal. The man is left laying on the ground by the android. When Buddy discovers his friend is unconscious, he understands what the researchers have done. He draws his revolver as the second bot undoes its clothes and charges at the man. Maslowski notes that Arisa's documentation appears to be missing a few files. The men hear gunfire at that precise moment and rush to the office, where they discover the mover's lifeless body in a state of terror. They start investigating what went down, but in vain. Arisa vanished into thin air. Don't kill humans, but the person claims that the bot acted on its own. This just can't be true. Arisa locates a new charger as Victor gives sensitive duties to Gleb, the corporation specialist. Glenn understands that the man was telling the truth about the killer. Because the bot is not fully charged, Victor gives the order to turn off the electricity. Arisa exits the building to look for another charger. Victor requests that the official cause of death be stated. Natural Glide tells the deceased's co-worker that his friend had a heart attack and that he did not have time to contact for assistance. As the man's body is being placed into the car, Arisa notices a free spot on the medical car charger. She climbs into Sergei's body and unintentionally alerts his wife to the bot attack. Glenn pays the orderly to bring the body to the morgue and gives the appropriate conclusion. At this point, Georgie speaks with a lawyer, who suggests that he give the child back to her mother right away and then file a lawsuit against his ex-wife. However, once he takes the girl, he notices the medical vehicle. He rushes to the morgue after asking Sony to wait. Georgie dismisses the orderly's fictitious diagnosis with curiosity. When Sonia discovers Arisa, the bot that is holding the child gives her permission to utilize the platform as a first-level user. Georgie then comes back and picks up Arisa. Entering the room, Arisa accesses Georgie's computer, which contains all of his family's information. Georgie gives Sonia back and removes his consent forms. When his son hears this, he gets angry, but Vasily points out discrepancies in the official diagnosis to Georgie. He makes threats to call the police while speaking verbally. When Igor gets to the morgue, he approaches Georgie to ask for permission to go. Georgie says no and instead requests a month to change his ways and become a better father. The dad then finds out how much the child custody review procedure costs. Ella shares everything with your pal. Lev is obliged to take a solo flight to Australia because he can't wait for the matter to be handled. Marina suggests that she give in to her ex-husband's demands in order to take away his parental rights. Georgie offers the orderly $300,000 in exchange for his silence, and when she refuses to back down, Ali tells him she's leaving the kids with Lev and is flying out herself. She exits the apartment after saying farewell to her ex-husband and the kids who are still living in Ella. After putting Sonia to bed, Georgie exits the room. No evidence of the bot can be found by Cronus security. The phone is unanswered by the Chinese salespeople for Arisa. Their cell phones are disabled. Maslowski congratulates Victor on bringing the sole killer bot in the world into the nation after showing him footage of Arisa murdering 2 workers of a Chinese company. Sonia looks behind the balcony glass and sees Arisa instantly. Another scene shows a young man dining with an android girl, and another shows a young man receiving advice before he commits a crime. He approaches the pair and taunts the man, splattering paint in his butt's eyes. When the man resists, his girlfriend stabs him with a knife. The offender is told to get out. Georgie hears about the assault on people as soon as he wakes up to loud music coming from Igor's room. Igor is unable to forgive his father for interfering with his Australia vacation. After learning of the man's passing, Sergei's wife notifies the police that he is gone. Arlamov, the investigative, plans to inspect the deceased's bodies. Arisa is given new clothes by Sonia, who then conceals her in the closet. Georgie's friend hides him at his father's apartment, where he keeps his mistress a bot, after Georgie is forced to leave the girl at home and heads straight to the morgue. While Sonia and Arisa watch TV, the bot shows off her voice copying skills. Sonia asks Arisa to hide in the bathroom when the doorbell rings. The man's voice can be heard coming from the toilet as Marina, her mother's friend, enters and inquires about a father. After ensuring that he is safe at home, Marina departs, and Sonia exults at how deftly Arisa had fooled her mother's acquaintance. The girl becomes upset when the bot starts asking her about her parents. However, Arisa reassures her when she finds out that the investigator lacks a warrant. He tells the black orderly about it and threatens to call the police after Georgie stops him from looking at the dead. However, he is terrified that there are extremely serious people behind the situation. By paying off Sergei's wife's mortgage, Rybov bribes her into not raising a fuss. When Lamov tries to appeal to his superiors, Galina declines to submit a statement and diverts him to another case, the man's murder. By searching through the girl's memory, the police identify the murderer. Igor's acquaintance is compelled to disclose his whereabouts and is able to alert the man. After escaping his assailants, Igor makes the acquaintance of a girl who works at a local nightclub. Maslowski tells Arisa that while she and Sonia are playing hide-and-seek, he wrote the code that Arisa discovered. Van Georgi rushes to the police, but Varlamath is not there, so Victor sends guards after the bot. Arisa removes a capsule with a beacon and sets it in a nearby spot. Upon meeting Arisa, he is granted permission to utilize as a second-degree user. Sonia requests that her father remain unaware about the bot. Georgie listens to the confessions of vandals who harm robots while she waits for the investigator. After using a sharp tool to smash the power supply, spray paint. Humanizing the bots is not a good idea. Safronov steps outside to have a puff and settles onto the seat. Glenn takes a seat beside him. He makes the man feel threatened. His children are quite cute. Teresa is not in the van when the security catches up with it. Georgie is relieved that everything is all right when he gets home. There is nothing in it that may be used to undermine your ex. Ella tries to find out when she contacts her ex-husband to ask why he is searching for Igor. The woman is actually lurking out at marinas in the hopes of capturing Georgy Varlamov, discovers that someone older and more crafty than 18-year-old Real is responsible for the murder, but the assassin wants to keep destroying the bots that steal jobs from people. Igor pays a visit to his new friend at the club, where she introduces him to her older brother, a bartender here. Georgie goes back and watches the news clip regarding the Liquidator's bot. The guy is just a hitman, and Varlamov is not thrilled with the case's outcome. Igor promises to settle things with a one-on-one battle when the stalkers find him in the club, but the group surreptitiously launches 3 separate attacks. At that point, Bars steps in, scatters the 3 of them, and takes Igor to the Liquidators, a closed club. In order to look into his son's death, the agent persuades the trucker's mother to prepare a statement and submits a request to the morgue. Georgie notices his son has facial injuries, but just then, one of the stalker's fathers rings the doorstep. After assaulting his son, the guy threatens to call the police, but Georgie beats him and hurls him out the door. Igor is amazed with Safronov's ability to mimic the Liquidators in order to grant the request to liberate the body. Mo lights the rim on fire and shuts down Vasily. Arisa goes through Alice's stuff and looks at the family pictures at night. Victor is shown the chip by Maslowski. He discovers Arisa approaching Georgie, who is asleep, and grants him permission to be the main user. With this, the family is completely